I knew something was wrong the second my phone rang at 4:58 a.m. Not a minute earlier, not a minute later. Just the exact time my grandson Lucas once said he'd use if he was in real danger. His voice trembled. "Grandma, whatever you do, don't wear your red coat today. Please." 2 hours later, I stood frozen at the bus stop, staring at flashing police lights and a body covered under a white sheet. Sheriff Monroe stepped toward me, voice low. "Maggie." The victim was wearing a red coat. Same style, same size, same shade. Whoever did this, they meant it for you. My heart stopped. And then I saw my daughter-in-law Lauren, sitting in her white SUV at the edge of the crime scene, watching me. Not shocked, not scared, just waiting. That was the moment I realized someone I trusted wanted me gone. And this was only the beginning. I was already awake when the phone rang. At 63, sleep comes in thin strips instead of whole nights. I'd been sitting in my old rocking chair, the one Charles built for me on our first Christmas together, watching the Colorado sky shift from ink black to the faintest blue. The farmhouse creaked around me, the way old houses do when they're settling, or remembering. Then my phone lit up. Lucas. 4:58 a.m. Not 5:00, not 4:30. 4:58. Years ago, when he was just a kid, Lucas told me, "Grandma, if anything bad ever happens, really bad, I'll call you at 4:58. It's a safe number, no one suspects it." I'd laughed back then. I didn't laugh now. "Lucas," his voice cracked like something inside him was breaking. "Grandma, don't wear your red coat today." I froze. "Sweetheart, what are you talking about? Please, don't put it on. Wear anything else. Just promise me." His voice trembled, and in the background, I heard something whined maybe, but sharper, like static or running water. "Lucas, are you hurt? Tell me where you are." Silence. Then barely a whisper, "You'll understand soon." The call ended. I sat there gripping the phone until my fingers hurt, staring at the red coat hanging on the wall. I'd bought it in Fort Collins last winter because it made me feel visible alive in the long Colorado winters. Everyone in town knew that coat. You could spot it from half a mile across the wheat fields. I should have grabbed it by instinct. Instead, I put on my old brown barn jacket, the one with worn elbows and a tear in the pocket, from when Charles fixed the fence line 2 summers before he died. I didn't know why I obeyed Lucas. Not yet. By 9:00, frost still clung to the grass as I walked the long driveway toward the county road where the bus stopped. Tuesday mornings always followed the same rhythm bus at 9:15 grocery run lunch at Millie's Diner home by 3. Routine has a heartbeat of its own. But that morning, the world skipped a beat. I could see the flashing lights long before I reached the stop, red and blue slicing through the pale morning. Sheriff's cruisers. 3, no 4 of them. A white van. Yellow tape flapping in the wind. My breath caught. Sheriff Jack Monroe, my old classmate from Silverstone High, stepped forward fast when he saw me. "Maggie, stop right there, Jack." "What happened? Where's the bus?" "There won't be one today." He swallowed hard. "There's been an incident." I felt the earth tilt. What kind of incident? He didn't answer right away. Behind him, techs moved around the bus shelter taking photos. One of them bent over something on the ground, something covered with a white tarp. A body. Jack took a slow breath, eyes locking with mine. "Maggie, we found a woman here around 6 this morning." My pulse thudded loud in my ears. "Who, we're not certain yet." His jaw tightened, but she was wearing a red coat, cherry red. My stomach dropped so fast, I had to grab the hood of his cruiser to steady myself. Jack's hand went to my elbow. "You okay? You're pale as a ghost." I could barely speak. "Jack." Lucas called me at 4:58 this morning. He told me not to wear mine. Something hardened in Jack's face. "Sheriff mode." He pulled out a notepad. "Repeat exactly what he said." I did. Word for word. He scribbled, then glanced at the tarp again. "Someone targeted you, Maggie. And whoever she is, she died standing where you'd normally be at 9:15. The words hit me like freezing water. Someone tried to kill me. And Lucas, somehow, knew. Before I could respond, a woman approached. Detective Carla Ruiz, sharp eyes, sharper instincts. "Mrs. Hale," she said, "we need to find Lucas immediately." "When did you last see him Sunday night?" I whispered. He was quiet, but I thought he was just tired from school. Carla exchanged a look with Jack, a bad look. Then her radio crackled. "Detective Ruiz, we have the victim's phone." A name came up in her recent calls, static, then clearer multiple contacts with a Lucas Hale. Jack's head snapped up. "Say again, victim is identified as Olivia Mercer, county records." Confirmed calls between her and Lucas Hale. A coldness spread through me. Olivia, county records. The same office responsible for property deeds. The same office Lauren had been talking about nonstop for months. And then, from the corner of my eye, I saw a car partially hidden behind the trees. Engine running. A white SUV. Lauren's white SUV. She stared at me through the windshield. Still. Expressionless. Except for something dark behind her eyes. Something that felt like triumph. The moment our gazes met, she shifted the gear and drove away. Jack followed my line of sight. "Was that?" "Yes," I said, my voice barely audible. "Jack, I think I know someone who doesn't want you to find out what happened this morning. When I got back home, the farmhouse felt wrong. Too quiet. Too still." As I shut the door behind me, a single thought burned through my mind. Someone tried to kill me, someone close, someone who knew my routine, my coat, my Tuesdays. And Lucas, sweet loyal, Lucas knew before it happened. But how, why, and where was he now? Before I tell you what happened next, let me ask you, what would you do if your own grandson warned you about your murder before it happened? Do you think Lucas is in danger? Or part of something even darker? And who do you believe ordered the killing, Lauren or someone worse? Tell me your thoughts. The truth only gets darker from here. By late afternoon, fear had settled into my bones, the way cold settles into old wood, quiet, stubborn, refusing to leave. Every sound made me flinch. Every shadow felt like something was hiding behind it. I sat at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee that had long gone cold, staring at my cell phone as if I could force it to ring by sheer will. Lucas still hadn't called back. The sheriff's department tried pinging his phone, but it kept bouncing between 3 different towers, like someone was deliberately keeping it moving. Detective Carla said not to panic yet. But when you're a grandmother, panic is the only language your heart wants to speak. As the sun slipped behind the mountains, my phone finally buzzed. Unknown number. Hands shaking, I answered. Lucas. But it wasn't his voice. It was a girl. Whispering. Maggie Hale. My breath caught. Who is this? You don't know me. But Lucas, he needs you. The girl's breath hitched like she was crying. Please, go to the old Silverstone mill. Tonight. Midnight. Come alone. Why would I? He saved my life, she whispered. Now you have to save his. And then the line went dead. The old Silverstone mill sits on the edge of the river, like a dead animal, rotting, abandoned, and full of ghosts. Charles once said the town should tear it down before someone got hurt. But towns are sentimental. We leave old things standing because destroying them feels like destroying a part of ourselves. At 11:55 p.m., I parked my truck a good 200 yards away. Fog hugged the ground like something alive. The moon hid behind clouds. Somewhere in the distance, an owl cried long, lonely, and wrong. I stepped inside. The smell hit me first, damp wood, rust, mold, and something metallic I didn't want to name. My boots echoed too loudly across the concrete. A faint draft whispered through cracks in the walls. Lucas. My voice trembled. Sweetheart, are you here? A shadow moved near the rusted machinery. Then another. Then, Maggie Lucas stepped into the thin slice of moonlight, and my heart nearly burst. His face was pale eyes, bloodshot, his shirt torn at the shoulder. Oh God, Lucas, I rushed to him. What happened? You're hurt. It's nothing, he said, pulling back. Grandma, please, we have to leave. They're coming. Who? I demanded. Who's after you? Before he could answer, she appeared. The girl from the phone call. A slender figure, maybe 19 or 20, stepping out from behind a column. She had dark hair tangled and damp, and her hands trembled as she clutched a small black bag to her chest. "My name is Eva," she said, voice shaking. "I worked with Olivia Mercer." My heart froze. "Worked?" With I echoed. She nodded, eyes filling with shame. Evergreen Ridge Realty recruited her and me to help with elderly property transfers, fake signatures, pressuring homeowners, intimidation. And when someone didn't want to sign, they made them disappear. A cold wave rolled down my spine. "Disappear," I whispered. She looked me in the eyes. "Like you were supposed to disappear this morning." I staggered back. Lucas reached for my hand. "Grandma, I didn't know what Olivia was part of. I swear. But when she tried to blackmail Lauren, everything blew up. Lauren sent people after all of us." So the girl with the trembling voice wasn't the villain. She was another victim, another pawn in Lauren's hands. "Why are you helping us?" I asked her. Eva swallowed hard. "Because Olivia wasn't supposed to die. She tried to get out. And she left something behind. Something they're hunting Lucas for." "What is it?" Eva opened the bag. A flash drive. Small, silver, harmless looking. But I could feel the danger radiating off it like heat. "It has everything," she whispered. "Names, addresses, money trails, judges, detectives, your daughter-in-law, all of them." My knees nearly gave way. Maggie Lucas said urgently, "We have to take this to Sheriff Monroe right now." I nodded. But before we could move, a bright white beam of light hit us blinding sharp, cutting through the darkness like a knife. A voice barked out, "Nobody move!" Deputy Ryan Cooper stepped forward, gun drawn. His badge glinted in the light. My stomach twisted. Lucas's voice was barely audible. "Grandma, that's the man who's been following me." Cooper smirked, the kind of smile men wear when they think they've already won. "Well, well," he drawled. "Mrs. Hale, Lucas, and our little stray Eva, all in one place. Saves me a hell of a night." Lucas stepped in front of me instinctively. "Deputy," I tried to sound steady. "Sheriff Monroe will know I'm with you." "Oh, he knows." Cooper tilted his head. "He's the one who assigned me to protect you." The way he said protect made my skin crawl. And then another voice drifted out of the shadows behind him. Smooth, feminine, familiar. "Ryan, sweetheart, lower the gun. We don't want Maggie to panic." Lauren Hale walked into the beam of light, her heels clicking on the concrete floor like applause. I felt the blood drain from my face. "Lauren," my voice cracked. "What are you doing here?" She laughed softly. "Finishing what should have been finished this morning." Everything inside me went cold. The world tilted. The truth hit harder than any bullet. Lauren didn't just want my farm. She wanted me gone. Alive, I was an obstacle. Dead, I was paperwork. She stepped closer, eyes gleaming with something twisted and victorious. Now she said gently, "Hand me the flash drive, Maggie, and I promise I'll make it quick. Before I tell you what happened next, what would you do if your own family member, someone you once let into your home, walked toward you with that smile?" Lauren took one slow step toward me, heels echoing through the hollow mill like a countdown. Deputy Cooper's flashlight carved sharp cuts of light across the concrete, illuminating just enough for me to see Lucas trembling beside me. But this time, I wasn't trembling. "You think you're the victim," Maggie, Lauren purred, "but you've been standing in the way of progress for years." "Progress," I whispered. "Is that what you call fraud murder?" Her smile sharpened. "This town doesn't need you. It needs development, investors, money." "And you." She pointed to the flash drive in my hand. "You're holding the only thing standing between me and a future worth having." Eva stepped back, clutching her arms. "Lauren, you didn't have to kill her." Olivia was trying to leave. "She was scared," Lauren snapped. "She was weak, and weakness is contagious." Her words sliced through me. Weakness. That's what Lauren had always seen when she looked at me. A widow, a grandmother, a woman clinging to a dying farm in the mountains. But she was wrong, and she was about to learn just how wrong. Cooper raised his gun. "Drive Mrs. Hale, now!" I swallowed hard. "You're not walking out of here with that flash drive. You won't need it when you're gone," he said. "Now hand." A sound interrupted him, sharp metallic faint. A soft click. Not from my hands, not from Lucas. From my jacket. The old brown barn jacket Charles bought me 20 years ago. Inside the torn pocket was the small voice recorder I kept for remembering grocery lists and conversations with my late husband on lonely nights. Before walking into the mill, I had switched it on and broadcast it, because the Hale Farm, bless its soul, was old-fashioned. The walls were thin, the air carried sound, and for 3 decades, Charles had installed ham radio systems across the property for emergency weather updates. The recorder wasn't just recording, it was transmitting, outward, across frequencies, across the valley, straight to the sheriff's department. Lauren didn't notice the low hum, but Cooper did. His eyes widened. Wait, what is that sound? I lifted my chin. That is you confessing to murder. Lauren spun toward me, fury flooding her face. You stupid old... But she didn't finish, because in that instant, flashlights exploded across the room. Sheriff's department dropped the weapon. Sheriff Monroe, Detective Carla Ruiz, and 6 deputies stormed into the mill, guns drawn. The moment Cooper swung his weapon toward them, 3 officers tackled him flat against the concrete. Lauren didn't fight. She didn't run. She simply crumpled. As deputies pulled her hands behind her back, she looked up at me, rage mixed with something like disbelief. You ruined everything, she hissed. No, I said softly. You did that yourself. The next few days were a blur of statements, hearings, and televised arrests. The flash drive contained everything Eva promised, and more documents Olivia had secretly collected before trying to escape. Judges, developers, bank officers. Not just in Colorado, but across 3 states. Lauren was charged with conspiracy fraud, attempted murder, and obstruction. Deputy Cooper faced even more. But the strangest, most painful day came when Thomas, my son, showed up at the farmhouse, with tears streaking his face. I didn't know, Mom, he whispered. I swear I didn't know what Lauren was doing. I had loved him through years of work, stress, pride, silence, and distance. And now, for the first time in years, he hugged me like a little boy again. Lucas returned to school. Eva went into protective custody, starting the slow climb back into a life she deserved. Sheriff Monroe stopped by every week with updates and warm bread from his wife. And me, I walked the fields of my farm one crisp morning in late fall, rows of frost-kissed grass stretching beneath the golden sky. I placed my hand on the old wooden fence Charles had built with his own hands, his initials still carved beneath the rail. For the first time in years, I felt rooted. Not stuck. Not trapped. Rooted. People think getting older makes you fragile, but they forget something. A woman who has survived loss, grief, betrayal, and silence is not fragile. She is forged. Looking out across the land that was nearly stolen from me, I whispered, You were wrong, Lauren. You can take a person's comfort, their safety, even their peace, but you can't take their roots. And I meant every word. Now, before this story ends, I want to ask you something from my heart to yours. What part of this journey moved you the most? If this story touched you, comment the number 100, so I know you stayed with me to the end. Tell me too, what country are you watching from? I would love to know how far this story traveled. And please, share this video so more people can hear it. Sometimes a story about an ordinary older woman fighting back reminds us all strength has no age.